Chivalry, start in a 3, 2, 1.
All right, and so we're back.
Oh.
And we're going to pick up kind of where we left off last week, which for us was about 10 minutes ago. And we're going to jump back into the rest of the Afterlives videos. Brian said he had some choice words to say about the Maldraxxus one. Apparently, he just doesn't like orcs.
Oh.
I love orcs. I kind of want to race change to an orc, but I also love my undeads.
The undead looks so cool.
Oh,
what?
That kind of, I read something else too. So kind of quick tangent right off the bat, right? I read an article in detailing the alt stuff for Shadowlands.
Mm.
So once you've got one character all the way through and you bring an alt into there,
You get to pick, right?
They initially it was you picked your covenant and you just had free reign on everything. You didn't have to do anything. They've changed it to where when you first get to Oribos, time gets frozen. Somebody comes up to you and basically is like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to progress through the story? Or do you just want to pick your covenant now and then go do world quest and all that stuff and level through dungeons and whatnot? So now, and it locks you in. You pick it. That's the way you go. So instead of...
Like you could do world quests as soon as you go there?
And that's how you level?
For an alt. So they changed it. It used to be you had to do this.
So you're not going to do any story on your alt?
No, you don't have to. You pick your...
You still need to level.
They've changed it. They've put a bunch of bonus objectives that I think are related to like some of the story stuff. They opened up all the side quests and mark them on your map. There's world quests that are active immediately, and then dungeons and all that stuff, and you level up that way. So if you don't want to go through all the stuff where you pick or you have to go through each covenant to do all that stuff and then pick it at the end and all that kind of stuff, you can just immediately pick your covenant and just go out into the world and start leveling.
See, I'd like to pick my covenant but still be able to do the story through the, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Well, I think those story quests, I don't think you can. You can't.
Well, right, because part of the...
Right, because the last part of all the story stuff is picking your covenant. So you immediately jump to there and all the quests before that are gone. But you had to do that on alts initially, but they've changed it. So now if you want to take an alt character through the story and do all that stuff, you can. Or you can just be like, I don't want to do that shit again. You just go out and just grind your levels doing
I don't know how I feel about that.
But you have the choice.
I mean, I like that you have the choice.
But picking your covenant and then going and doing the story quest where you are introduced to all the covenant wouldn't work because they give you the abilities.
They give you the ability, I know.
So I think it's a way to prevent them from locking people out from actually doing the story again if they want to.
Yeah.
So they're giving you a choice in it, which is, I think, a good thing.
That's good.
What do you think, Brian?
I'm not sure. I think the cool part about it for me is that I haven't read enough about it or much of anything for Shadowlands just because I'm saving myself for marriage. So I'm kind of happy because I don't really kind of know what you're talking about for the most part. So.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't.
You don't have to explain it to me either. I'm totally cool with
I haven't done a lot of like when Alpha first came out. I spent a lot of time watching streams because I was really curious, and Torghast had just come out, and I was like, I want to know how it's gonna be, blah blah blah. And then as time progressed and things changed and blah blah blah, I started watching less and less of it because it was kind of like, Blizzard made some really decisions that I didn't really care for, and I was like, oh god. So now we're starting to go back into that whole, they're going to ruin the game, because they're making these decisions that I don't agree with, So anyway, so I haven't really been like, then I got beta, and I played through the story, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Like, it was kind of a vague, I was like, okay, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the quests and I'm going to level, but when I do beta, I don't really pay attention to the story. I save that for live when, you know what I mean? I just kind of go and then I go to the quest marker and I kill whatever I need to kill or do whatever I need to do. And then I go back and, I don't pay a lot of attention during the story, unless it's for, submitting like a bug report for something. But other than that, it's not, I haven't been paying that much attention, I guess is where I'm going with that. So I don't know a lot of stuff either. The most, like I just saw on the forums, apparently druids are losing our flight form, not losing our flight form, but at
Nobody
58,
cares about druid news.
at 58, druids automatically get flight form, right? Now.
They should have made it 61.
Wait, like you don't
No,
get flight
not-
form, period?
You get flight form, you have to pay for it now. You used to just automatically get it. You have to pay for like epic flying, but you just got your flight form. It was just something that you got.
Right.
You didn't have to pay for. And they're losing that. So now we're going to have to pay for flight form.
In Shadowlands or just
Yeah,
in the
in
regular
Shadowlands.
world?
In Shadowlands.
Oh.
Well, that's the regular world. I mean, it's in the next X pack. It's going to be.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just as you level, you still get
Yeah.
flight form normally when you're leveling up at whatever.
Yeah, but
level.
you have to pay for it now, as opposed to you didn't have to pay for it before. That's all. It's just a dumb little change that it was 250 gold. You know what I mean? So it's
a
not
long time
like.
coming.
Shut
Friggin'
up.
charging Death Knights
Oh my
almost 1,000
God.
gold
But-
for a stupid bone griffin.
But
Still,
warlocks and paladins still get their free mounts. You know
They-
what I mean? So it's
To
a
be
stupid
fair-
change
they still have to
that.
buy
To be
flying.
fair, that mount was expensive back in the day.
Oh, I know.
What, the
Very
bone griffin?
costly. The paladin mount.
The paladin and the warlock one. They were both very expensive. Those Azerothian diamonds were crazy. And then was it True Gold? Did you have to get True Gold too for
There was
it?
something like
Something
fell
like-
wounds or something like that you had to get to.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
But
I don't know.
you don't.
What? You don't what?
I'm just trying to think. Are you paying just to have the ability? You're just paying to have the ability to fly, not to actually get the flight form.
right.
No, you're paying for them to keep the druid as a class. Because they already know
It
it's so
feels
bad if you
like
just get
it.
rid of it.
It's just.
Yeah,
Let's talk about Maldraxxus.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
I-
more specifically
Draca.
Afterlives.
Let's
Well,
let Brian complain about Draca.
So I sent you a link
Yeah.
to the
I'm looking at it.
Oh, is that what that is?
Well, these are all the
Wowpedia?
pictures from it.
Yeah.
first question I have. Did you see the post somebody had about so midway down there's the eyeglass picture looking in?
Yes, that's the one with the Fell Reaver guards or whatever.
Yes. So somebody posted something where it was like the exact same shot from the what were
From
the
Legion?
Demon Hunter
The
ones
Demon
called?
Hunter one?
Hmm?
You mean the Demon Hunter animations?
Yeah. It was the one where they go to what was it called?
The
Mardoom
key
or something
planet?
like that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Did you guys see the post where it was the
Mm-mm.
same exact
No.
No.
Yeah. Which, it's oversight. They just reuse animation.
Right.
That's fine. It was interesting though because I'm like, how does a Felguard, which I don't know, how do these things cross over? Maybe they aren't Felguards, right? They look pretty damn similar to them, but
I mean,
that's not even my main bitching point. In this, to be
well, I'm
honest.
looking at it and it's not the same shot.
It's not.
Oh wait, yeah, it is. There it is.
Yeah, that's if you click on that picture. Yeah, those are straight up Felguards.
Oh, it's the same poses and everything. Although they did add a little bit of trees in
Did they? Where at?
on the left-hand side. There's a little bit of tree branches poking in where it's not on the other one.
Huh.
Tree branches?
That is.
I see cracks on a wall.
No, not above the fell guard, at the very edge where it curves.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So, hold on. Just because it's the same shot, it's slightly different. We don't know where she was. She could have gone into the void to that planet to steal something from the Legion.
Oh, good God, have mercy. That's
No, seriously.
some crazy shit going on now.
Well, no, think about it, right? It's earlier in the history of that place because in the Harbinger one, or maybe it was, no, I don't know. It's one's all fucked up, the other one has trees, right? So it's a devastated planet at some point.
But wasn't that shot taken whenever, so right before you get locked up as a demon hunter? So isn't that like the 10,000 years prior or something like that?
No, they didn't steal the key until right before.
I thought that when you go back to,
It's not 10,000 years. You get locked up when you get locked up when Illidan gets beaten, which would have been when we were in BC.
right, like he
Draka
gets
died
beaten,
before that.
He gets beaten, and then you take the portal back there, and then they grab you too.
Right,
Isn't that
but
how it
that's
ended?
not 10,000 years.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. What am I thinking?
That's after the death of Draka, because Thrall was an adult at that point.
yeah,
right?
that was far after that. I'm not sure what I was thinking.
So
Cut that part out.
the 10,000 year war supposedly is when they left, when Tyrellian and them left Draenor or Outlands or whatever, and to them, I guess
flew on the party ship to.
yeah, when they went out to go fight the Legion, wherever they were fighting the Legion, whether it was on Argus or what, wherever they went, they spent. Time is relative, right? So wherever they were, time moved differently, and it was 10,000 years. Obviously, they didn't age for whatever freaking reason, which doesn't make any sense. But
Oh God, this is what's that movie called with
with Matthew McConaughey, where he goes out to the black hole thing.
All right. What is that called? Interstellar.
Yeah, I didn't see that movie.
Me
You
either.
didn't?
No,
Okay, go ahead and pause the podcast and go watch it right now.
I know the basics of it. I mean, I know the theory of relativity and and all that stuff about like time travel, about how time passes differently because it's all relative. So like for him it wasn't that long, but on Earth it was like 30 years or some stupid weird shit like that or more. Anyway, but to me, sure they reused.
Yeah,
The
so I'm
positions
not really
of it.
complaining about it. I just thought it was interesting that they did. I mean, you can kind of take a look at the guy on the very bottom, whoever that is, with the shoulder pads and shit. I could see them, or even still, like if Warlock in general is a thing, and their magic is a thing in this land, then maybe they can have demons in this land. I don't know.
Well, those the Felguards. No, that's never mind. That's Paramothras. That's the Nazarethim. It's different. I don't. The Felguards. I mean, all the races of the Legion are just captured races from another place for the most part. I don't think anything actually is from the Twisting Nether. Maybe Pit Lords. I don't know. I thought they were all just races subjugated by Sargeras and put into
yeah, no,
oblivion.
that's a fair point. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I guess
Yeah.
on to the main point.
Well, yeah.
So tell me what you guys thought about this one.
Well, I watched it. I liked it. I think it's getting Draka's story in a little bit more of a direction than I thought, or like her character, because when sure, she was fighting to save her son when she put him in the, she pulled a Moses and put him in the water or whatever to save him, and trying to fight the people off and all that stuff. And like the whole tagline, she's not a warrior born, but a warrior made. It's like, well, she's an orc. The whole orc faction, I mean, it's just like you can fight from the day. You're not out there doing all the fighting all the time, but I mean the whole orc clan thing, I mean, it's just like you're not unable to fight. And like the whole tagline is not a warrior born, but a warrior made, and like she was trained to be whatever. And like so the guy trained her in subterfuge and all that stuff, and how to not just be a warrior, but how to infiltrate and all that stuff. Like he was basically molding her for whatever reason. And I'm guessing when he sent her to deliver that letter, he knew that his house was going to be destroyed. So he was trying to protect her and to that other house so that she could be of use and, one, be alive, two, it'd be helpful to help, I guess, restore order in Maldraxxus. Because the whole thing is there's the 5 houses, which I guess 2 or 3 of them are gone or against whatever. And, like, there's supposed to be, like, one person that kind of rules over it all. And that person's either gone, dead, or missing or whatever. So, like, that's what caused the houses there to start fighting. And I guess it's just kind of trying to showcase that she's, I don't know.
She's badass, that's for sure.
I mean, she wasn't badass when she was alive, but I guess throughout her time in the Shadowlands. And then that's another question, too, is when you are in Shadowlands, can you die? Like, if you get killed there, are you dead, or what? 2, do you age? Because she's been there for a while, but she doesn't really look like she's gotten older.
Oh, God, that's going to be weird.
Well, I mean, and again,
like in this case, what about Thrall? You know what I mean? Because this isn't some alternate timeline person now. This is literally the same person, your actual mother, in the afterlife, but you're going to be alive most likely. Yeah, that's odd. That's weird.
I mean, we don't have any indication that they have any interaction unless it's further on down the line.
Well, and I don't think it matters whether or not they do have interaction. I mean, he's met his mom already.
Yeah.
I mean, he met a version of his mother with different color skin because in Warlords, they didn't drink the blood.
Right.
So none of the orcs have green skin. So there's that. But, I mean...
Nothing in Warlords is meaningful.
Hey, I don't know.
At
That
all.
selfie cam was pretty,
But no, I think, I don't know, like, I like this one the most, I think. But I
Maldraxxus
think
one?
that's why I have the most problems with it.
Well, I mean, what are some of the problems?
Like, for me, Draka just seems like a weird pick. Again, the capacity in which I'm trying to think about this, I know nothing about Shadowlands.
so,
Except for what I'm seeing, so...
Who would you pick? Who would you think would be a more appropriate pick?
I don't think it's a matter of like who I think is better fitting. I think that watching this video out of nowhere for me just felt awkward. I don't know, like seeing I don't know what the backstory is of the House of Plagues, right? So this is more so. This is even still, this is still odd, right? Because this is theoretically the afterlife of some sort, but we still have zombified, skeleton-esque beings, right?
Right. Well,
So like,
Maldraxxus is basically...
I guess I don't really know what to think about it, to be honest with you.
I mean, Maldraxxus is basically... It's the home of, like, where all the undead stuff kind of came from, like all the modeling, like the abominations.
Oh yeah, it's the scourgy area.
No, I get that. Just
I don't think we have enough information as to like why it's like that and what these things are.
I think that's why it doesn't confuse me. It just throws me off a lot. No,
I get it. It's kind of just like I don't know. It's hard. Because they're trying to give you a sample of the different covenants, right? But if you aren't devouring every bit of information that comes out about the beta and the alpha and what, everything that's going on and all the story information, it doesn't really give you a clear picture. Because, like, if you, like...
Well, that's what I think, to your point earlier about, like, is this truly... Are you fully dead? Are you half dead? Are you somewhere in purgatory? Like, I think that's what really pisses me off about even the book that came out. The book, I enjoyed the story. It wasn't fantastic to me, but I was really hoping that it was going to bridge a lot more, going into the storyline, because now, to me, at a high level, reviewing what I've seen for Shadowlands, I'm still just kind of like, this doesn't fucking make any sense to me. Like, and it's hard to really get past that. I'm still gonna play it. I'm still stoked to play it, and I'm stoked to go through the story and stuff. But it's a hard sell for me just because it's and especially when they start making these things, these animations, and bringing out these stories, elaborating on the things that I don't already understand. You know what I mean? Because I didn't sit and watch the betas on Twitch all that much. I watched a few things here and there. I didn't really read about the story or anything that wasn't yet released officially, right? I've just been going through the official channels for information relative to the story.
Right.
And it's just like a throw off. And then this comes out. The Uther one was a totally different story. Like, I get that part. That all matches up for me. The Draka one, and you know what I mean? Like, I could appreciate that this area, covenant, whatever they're considered, right? I can appreciate that exists in this realm that I don't understand yet. That's fine. But then you're telling me this character from the timeline at one point, right, is now a key part of this, and we're just, like, this animation is just to tell us that, hey, she's gonna be important here. Like,
I think the animations.
That's what Warlords of Draenor did for Gul'dan 2. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think the animations are trying. I think the animations are trying to tell a different story of how all the different anima droughts have affected all of the areas. So they're.
But that's the thing. The anima drought is just something that's like I've heard that one time officially, and it's just been reiterated over and over that there's an anima drought. Okay, yeah, I don't. From the outside, not seeing this story played through, I don't really know what the fuck that means, and what value there is to understanding that going into it, right? So having these, I get that they're trying to set up the conflicts and maybe the struggle I'm having, you know what I mean, prior to getting into it. Maybe that's why they're coming out with these storyline, you know what I mean, these icebreakers. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that was my point more so. Like, the reason that I kind of had issues with this was just because it was just like, to me, it's a out of left field type of thing. That's not to say that it's not badass, because it is, and it looks interesting. I just hope it's not like I hope it's not like BFA, where you have the storylines, and then after the leveling experience, it just gets glazed over.
Not to
You better not spoil
anything. I'm trying really hard not to. And
just let me know when I need to mute.
The things.
Oh, don't you dare ruin anything ever. Don't do it.
The things that they're doing in these things are introducing the storylines that you're gonna play through. So they're introducing you to
and that's
things.
kind of the point I was making. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I got that part of it. It was just, I don't know.
Like, it's an introduction to, so when you go into...
It still doesn't make it any less awkward, you know what I mean?
Sure, it's awkward now, but when you go into that story, you're going to be like, oh, I remember this. And then you go into Bastion and you see a certain something happen and you're like, oh, that's interesting. That makes sense. So they're laying the foundation for these connections.
There's 1,000 undead, and then there's this orc lady that's leading everybody.
Well, there's this foundation.
Oh, sorry. There's 1,000 half undead.
These connections that you're gonna be like, oh, now it makes sense, and it might not make all the sense now, but it will make sense in the context of when you're actually playing the game.
Sure, that goes
it
without
doesn't
saying.
make sense now, obviously, because you don't have the whole picture.
Sorry, I think I kind of painted myself like an idiot, and that's not what I'm intending to do.
No,
I don't think I can explain my confusion. Not really confusion, but distaste for the approach, I guess, is more I think what it is than anything. Now, that's not to say, again, I still like it. I just think it's, I don't know. It's
so do you think they shouldn't do them? I'm confused. Like, I don't understand exactly what the, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure.
I think what it is I think that one, why is Draka in this covenant? Period. Right. If you don't understand how souls are chosen for different covenants to go there, she seems like an unlikely candidate to be put into a covenant where she's gonna be basically like a warlord, right? Because especially if
But I don't understand why. Because she's an orc, and that was basically their whole warmongering thing before. I mean, and she was in that time frame where they were conquering and they were, you know.
But if you know
So I
anything
don't-
about Drak, the Frostwolf clan wasn't like that. I mean, they joined the Horde for Gul'dan's Horde initially because they kind of had to, and all that stuff. But like their hearts really weren't into it, and I mean, she wasn't. I don't know.
But then that comes back to the point with okay, well then who from lore would you pick to,
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
It's not who would you pick. It's why does it have to be a character from lore? Why
Oh.
couldn't it be a new character?
I mean, I guess, but I think they wanted to connect,
Sure. And for some people that resonates, and some people it doesn't.
right?
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
That's. Let me be honest though. This is probably the one I'm gonna pick.
Maldraxxus. Oh hell yeah,
Yeah, I mean, straight up, it's
Bony boys.
I will probably choose Bastion for my paladin if that's a thing based on what you guys said earlier, and then I'll never do Ardenweald unless it comes out as to being the best storyline. Then I will.
Oh,
and
I'll do
then-
them all. Just to
I'll
go
do
through
them all on different.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll do them all. I'm sorry. Yeah, not
Like-
a top pick. It'd be last pick, right? Like,
Like
but what's the vampire-ish one?
the
Reverend
Reverend Dreth, that is definitely going to be my Shadow Priest. Is definitely going to be Reverend Dreth. But let me tell you, I straight up hate every goddamn character in that zone. I hate them all. Oh, I hate them. You will
Yeah,
see
it doesn't
why.
look. It doesn't look super.
Yeah, I want to
It's
just.
third. It's third on my list. No, you know what? It's probably second because
It's-
Bastion's colors piss me off. So
It, Bastion Zone reminds me of a Dr. Seuss book. It does. It reminds me of a Dr. Seuss book.
Well,
I just feel like I can taste the way that the blue people look. And I'm not sure how I
do the
feel about that.
snozberries taste like snozberries?
It's just like,
Why are you licking blueberries? But no, it kind of looks sterile, like
Yeah.
super clean. Like it has a very
It's got some
austere
holy.
presence.
It's got holy and what was
Like
the
a
dungeon?
cathedral.
What's the warrior dungeon called? The
The
Trial
war-
of Val, right?
Oh yeah,
Halls of Valor.
Halls of Valor.
right.
It's got
Yeah,
a little bit of
Odin's
that
place.
going on.
Well, some of the outside architecture, sure. It's just got a lot of lines and cathedral-esque type architecture, right? Like it feels like a sanctuary or like a church or like something like that. A place of peace, a place of contentment. It's like you could picture if you took the end of Gladiator, where I don't even know. I can't remember the actor's name. Russell Crowe, where he's walking through the field and he's running his hands through the wheat and all that stuff. You could drop the main city of Bastion in the background, and it would look right in place. It's that kind of peaceful, serene type from the artwork and all that stuff. From what I've seen, that like that kind of place. To me, it just seems, yeah.
Let me tell you, I really like Ardenweald, and I'm really. Don't roll your eyes. I'm really.
Well, let's talk about Ardenweald then, because I'm
Really-
ready to bitch about that
I'm
one too.
really upset that Convoke the Spirits has been nerfed, and now Revendreth is the better thing for
Yeah.
druids because
I don't know about Jim, but I don't know enough about what's going on there
Yeah.
to
well,
determine
I
like
just
what that
learned
actually
that
means or
today
anything.
from listening to the podcast with the druid stuff. Is Convoke the Spirits was the best ability for druids for a little bit, and then they nerfed it because that's what they do. and now Revendreth is. And I don't want to go Revendreth. To me, the druid fantasy is Ardenweald and the Fae and the Night Fae, and that is the druid fantasy for me. And for, like they were saying in there, all the druids
You don't
were
need another druid fantasy. You already have Moonglade, don't you? And a World Tree and what else?
Yeah.
Well,
But
You guys have your own zone.
yeah, but I mean,
I
that
guess
is
technically after Legion, we all got our own
it's
zone.
it's not even about anything with Druid. What it is that people are talking about the meta, about min-maxing and all that stuff, and right now, all the Covenant abilities, their strengths and weaknesses aren't necessarily balanced with the other ones. So when they change something else becomes better. And
Are you saying people are complaining about pre-release stuff?
I mean, I don't know if it's pre-release. It's Covenant ability, so no.
It is pre-release stuff. It's not out yet.
Stuff that's
yes, they're
yes.
complaining about it because you're going to need to know, like this is where they're doing is they're balancing right now. They're doing the balancing stuff, and so if you don't have an idea of what is best, then if you're a min-maxer, then you don't know what to pick, and
But you can still restart, right? You can switch between covenants.
Yeah, but at the risk of being behind, I think.
They've changed it. They've made it so that if you choose a covenant, it doesn't the catch up to be where somebody else is that hasn't switched or whatever is minimal. They have been working on that, and there was a blue post on it and all that stuff about how they're making it so that
A Kyrian post?
yes. It was Bluther, actually.
Luther's out there just
Bluther
mashing the
posting.
banhammer.
But no, they talked about how you can switch, or like if somebody were to start later in the game and join into that covenant or whatever, it wouldn't take them that long to. They're going to put stuff in for you to be able to get the power, whatever stuff you need to boost yourself up to be equivalent to somebody that's been there the whole time. So
Yeah, they're not going to leave it. They're not going to leave it that far off. I mean, things are always going to be unbalanced some way or another, but they're never going to leave it that far off.
It's like a 2% DPS.
I did see the thing, the podcast.
DPS.
This guy, when I caught it, I only watched it for a few minutes, but somebody saying that this is that ability was one of the most fun abilities they've ever played in WoW,
The
or
Convoke.
some shit like that.
Yeah.
Whatever they nerfed.
Yeah.
But
the
again,
Convoke
like
the Spirits one. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but again, that's what you get for playing a druid, right?
Fun.
No, they accidentally gave you something fun, and they realized
and then
it
they
and
took it away because
Whoa!
I
back
really
up.
wish they would make the player. I wish they would make it just additional talent row or something that they give everybody, that you can either choose like a DPS or a heal or a tank talent or something like that. And it wasn't tied to the covenants, because I wish the covenants were just a purely aesthetic thing.
Well, at this point, it wouldn't be a WoW expansion without some gimmick to it.
Yeah, and I hate that. But I thought
I do too.
Torghast was supposed to be the gimmick. You know what I mean? Covenants are too. But I would be happy if it was only Torghast. Let me tell you, Torghast was fun. I haven't delved too deeply into it, but in the course of the story, you get into it, and it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I can see myself playing it a lot. It was fun.
So what about this Ardenweald video? What do you guys think?
I mean,
it was kind of sad.
It was sad.
I mean, it sucks that things are going the way they are, but then you get Ursak, in the Nightmare. We kill him. Is it Emerald Nightmare? We actually kill him. So that sends him back to sleep, and that wasn't any of his fault for it. So, he goes in, and then this guy is like, "Oh, you're in my grove. I'm going to take care of you," and all that stuff. And then all the shit happens, and he's struggling to keep him alive because he made a promise to him and all this stuff. And then they come and start taking this shit, and then they make him basically pull the plug. It's like...
Yeah, that was sad.
They gave him...
No, think about it. Think about how many druids that this guy ignored just to keep this bear alive.
I feel like the whole vibe.
I don't care.
I feel like the whole vibe of Ardenweald is sadness. That's like the whole.
I don't trust the queen or whatever the heck who she is. She looked. You know what she looks like? Maleficent.
Queen of Jar.
No, she looks like a Sylvari from Guild Wars 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like a plant person.
Yes. She does.
But
very
oh
much.
yeah, she's got like 5 ears, don't she?
She looks like
1,
a
2, 3, 4, 5,
Sylvari.
6. Oh my god.
But I don't know. It just felt she felt ominous. Like there were some scenes in there where she looked super intimidating, and then like when like she's like in the shadows, all that stuff, and her eyes are glowing, and then like she steps out, and it's like, oh, she's not malevolent.
See, I don't think she is. I think it's just more of a case of like heavy is the head that wears the crown type thing. She is trying to take care of everybody.
Yeah, I think out of all of them, man, I think that they did a really good job.
Where she's standing there, and she just like first shows up, and it's like that does not look. Here, let me link it to you, Brian, so you can look at the same picture that we're looking at.
No, yeah, I mean, I remember
It's just like that shot. It's just like she's standing there and everybody's behind her, and she looks super imposing, and she's like, "That's just."
I think that's the point of it, though, was because you needed to know that she's somebody with authority. She's somebody who, she's not just some little dryad who's walking through and is like, "Oh,
But you remember what we said though, right?
What?
All these covenant things, they're all evil. Okay?
I mean, even when she first showed up, when everything was fine, and she showed up to him to talk to him or whatever, she's like the leader of the Kyrian thing too. She's got when like she's talking down to Devos or whatever, they tower over you. They are imposing. They are the law.
Right.
That kind of thing. And I don't know. She gave him a choice: save the one soul, or to sacrifice him to help Ardenweald limp along for a little bit longer. And it's just like, what's the point if it's just gonna die in the end?
Right.
Why not?
Well, what did it mean to save him though?
I mean,
what was that gonna do?
I don't know. If he could scrounge up enough stuff, he could get him so that he blossomed or whatever and went back, so he wasn't there anymore.
What, does he go back, or does he like pop up?
All the wild ones, when they die, they come back. I think that's the whole point of Ardenweald, is that you go there, and I think you come back, as far as I'm aware. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. I'd have to, like you, I'm trying not to dive too much into everything, because I want it to be...
And I can't say anything because you guys don't want spoilers. So
No spoilers.
So I'm keeping my mouth shut about everything. Like, I have a lot of things that I could say about things, but
You and your stupid beta access.
sorry. Sorry.
Hey, did you ever play? You ever play Diablo 1?
Oh yeah.
Do you recall the first time? Well, I don't think it was the first time you saw him, but there was the Cen-o-taur guy. He was a named Cen-o-taur on Minotaur. I don't know. Yeah, Minotaur. Named on like the 6th or 7th floor.
It's been so long since I played that.
You would remember it because whenever like you see him for the first time,
Is he just running around?
no, he goes no hurt, no kill, or something
Oh
like.
my god, yeah.
And then he
Okay.
winds up attacking you. This picture that you sent to me, this kid, this thing, whatever he is, that's what he looks like. Please, no hurt, no kill.
God, yeah.
I don't know. I gotta look up that guy's name. He was blue or something like that, and he had fucking electricity or some shit on him. Please, no hurt,
Yeah,
no
I don't know.
kill.
It's again, something's rotten in the state of Shadowlands, and it's not as cut and dry as they. Oh, whatever.
What?
She's laughing at me
Rotten in
because
the state of Shadowlands.
it's Shakespeare.
Rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yep. It's from, was it Hamlet? Yes. I don't know.
Well, I won't lie. I think this one was by far the best done. It wasn't my favorite because
When you
again, like I said before, the forest and trees and shit and this purgatory, afterlife, midlife, transient life, whatever the fuck it is, doesn't sit right with me still. Maybe
is
that'll
that
change
based
later.
on the animation, or is that based on screenshots you've seen?
Well, I mean, anything in Ardenweald I've seen is tree based, right?
Right.
Trees and
Yeah, it's nature.
and this is some form of afterlife realm, right? Like, why does that?
Right, but it's an afterlife realm, but is it also the basis for other things? It's like, sure, we end up here, but is this like kind of where everything started?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
And like,
No, I
so
don't
like
know.
everything is like,
I hope they dive into that. I hope they dive into these stories that are well beyond just the characters and the struggles of the relative context of these areas. Because, like, if there's one thing about going into this realm, it's that, again, in reinforcing what I'm saying with all fusion or whatever, however you perceive what I'm saying. But to me, it sounds like confusion coming out. But I hope they dive deeper into, why things are the way they are. You know what I mean? Not just the state of the union, right? But
well, how they came to be, how
Yeah.
what's been going on, why were they created, and I think
Exactly.
they delve a little bit into that. I think into the intro quest, like when you first go in and all that stuff and get out. Like there's talk about this progenitor class or whatever that basically created the people that watch over the Shadowlands. So there is another level deeper than this. So like how like the Titan Keepers were created by the Titans and all that stuff. Do we know who made the Titans? Or the Titans were the World Souls, right?
Yeah, and they formed they themselves formed the Pantheon, didn't they?
Right. But yeah, so the Pantheon were world souls that were born, but the World Souls, what we don't know what created them, but it could be people from the Shadowlands. It could be there's just all different kinds of. We don't know everything.
We don't know a lot of things.
One could say we are not prepared.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just I don't know.
Well, I hope they dive into stuff. That's all I'm saying. I mean,
They
other
usually
than the
do.
conflicts going on in those areas,
Yeah.
I do. This is a little bit different in the sense that I think that. So if you remember back going to Argus and Legion, it was very like I felt sad being there because it's like, oh my gosh, look at this entire world, that we could actually be a part of and you know what I mean, understand more about, but we can't. You know what I mean? It's 3 zones and that's it. There's no more story to this. It's done. This thing's falling
yeah.
apart. And that's the lack of that story or the lack of the chance to be a part of that story or understand what's going on in that world. Like, I don't know. That feels bad.
It wasn't meant to be as in depth as like some of the zones like in vanilla, right? You go in, you go through an area, and then like you stumble across like a little town or something like that where they got a bunch of side quests which kind of like talk about what's been going on or stuff like that. There was not a lot of exposition there, and I don't know if it's because they weren't putting it in. They weren't doing world building on Argus. They were doing just
it was meant for
content
that
to keep
purpose.
you.
Yeah, no, I got that. But I even felt that way about the invasions. So the invasions had different planets or whatever that you went to. You know what I mean? And some of them were kind of interesting, and it's like, man,
Wait, which?
I realize that there's no story behind this where we're at right now, but this looks really badass, you know?
Which in like the Legion invasions?
Yeah, so the Legion invasions on Argus. Or no, they were called something else.
Oh,
Invasion
the
points.
portals. The portals you went through. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because one of them was like a big, what are those big trees in California called?
Redwood?
Yeah, like tall ass trees in this area where you go fight this boss at. And it's like, oh man, it reminds you of the Grizzly Hills and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, the story would be juicy behind this. Like, why is it here? Why are they there? I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, there would definitely be, and maybe because these zones are going to be more the main focus of leveling, maybe they will put a lot of that stuff in. A bunch of side quests where you get little tidbits here and there, books that they put on a table that you can click on and open up and read a few things. You know, stuff like that.
Or we just go raid somebody's castle and get some sweet loot.
I mean, it makes, from everything I've heard, it seems like they're trying to get back more into the RPG part of the MMORPG stuff. So maybe that's a good sign that, you know, they're going to put more thought and stuff into the story and just do more. You know, that would be nice.
Yeah, it would be, definitely. Well, hey, Jim, you want to tell us where all of our fans can find us on social media?
You can tweet us at server_restart, I think, and then Facebook is just facebook.com/serverrestartin. I think that's it. We don't really have much of a social media presence because
That's enough, right?
Yeah, I don't like social media.
Is there any non-social media?
Our MySpace page is
oh my God, MySpace.
We have some 8 tracks that we record on. All right. Server shut down in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.